On this episode of Road Trip Masters, I cruise into a town that has a flight of 5 locks and meet up with the king, who is second to none.
Because they just take a beating here.
I'll fine dine on some tasty meat morsels,
Oh yeah, we're gonna stop your heart.
explore the underworld after you, hear that water rush, and hit a drive-in that has been flipping burgers since 1946.
I love that sauce.
So sit back, relax, and I'll do the driving right here on Road Trip Masters. I'm Nick Kessler.
And I'm Brian Fulmer,
We're teachers that have a passion for travel.
cruising the highways and byways in our 1968 drop-top caddy.
We discover the places and people that make this nation great. We are Road Trip Masters. On this week's episode, I'm riding solo. So as Brian enjoys his time out west with his family, I'm traveling to the western part of New York, to the town of Lockport. Located 25 miles northeast of Buffalo, this town's history began in the early part of the 19th century when New York State Legislature authorized the construction of the Erie Canal. When the canal was completed in 1829, Lockport was established as a village, and many of the canal workers stayed and began to form its community. But the big daddy around here is the flight of 5 locks, a staircase system of locks that was designed and built to allow packet boats to travel over the 60-foot Niagara Escarpment. The Flight of 5 greatly assisted canal workers and provided safe passage to the city of Buffalo. A true engineering masterpiece that is alive and well for all to see. With the caddy cruising at peak performance, I couldn't wait to get into town. But before I did, I decided to check out nearby Becker Farms, a place where you could pick apples, stay overnight, and partake in some liquid farm-crafted beverages. Becker Farms, 1894, I believe.
Yes,
Beautiful facility.
thank you.
Give us a little history or background.
Well, it started in 1894 with my great-grandfather. He was an immigrant from Germany. Went to my grandfather. He was born in the little house that's our farm market. And then my husband and I took it over from my grandfather in 1979.
You have a lot of things going on here. A vineyard, fruit trees. What's that all about?
Oscar, my husband, is actually an immigrant from Peru.
Oh.
They never miss an opportunity.
So they're always growing something.
So we've listened to what our customers want, and we've added on layer after layer every year for 40 years.
People can come here and stay, correct?
Yes, we have 10 little hotel room cabins, hot running water, beautiful sheets, and soft, comfy beds. Your view out the window is either the vineyard or the apple orchard.
The farmhouse, how many bedrooms are in that?
There's 3 bedrooms, an office, a living room, big dining room, wraparound porch, new kitchen. It's beautifully done.
You have the tasting room. Tell us a little bit about that.
All the wines are made from the fruit that we grow here. We have unique wines like strawberry, raspberry, blueberry. We grow it, we make it, and we sell it.
Well, Mindy, I think there's one thing left to do. I think we got to go taste some of these wines.
I think you should.
All right. That's where I met Mindy's son, Andres, who gave me a sample of what the Becker's homegrown experience is all about.
Now, in general, when you're doing a wine tasting, you want to go from white to red, dry to sweet, or as I like to say, from less intense to more intense flavors. So we're gonna start out with our 2018 Traminette. It's perfectly suited for the soil that we have here and for the climate that we have.
You definitely smell that sweetness right away.
Well, so this is actually, it smells that way, but when you taste it, it'll come out dry.
You're right. Excellent. Besides producing their own wines from scratch, Becker Farms makes their own craft beer, cider, ice cream, fudge, and homemade pies. Andres, thank you very much, and thank you for doing what you do.
I was born to do it.
Becker Farms, an iconic example of old-fashioned self-sufficiency carried out in the modern world. After the bags were unpacked and base camp was established, I decided to check out a Lockport staple that has been family-owned since 1960. Danny Sheehan's Steakhouse. That's when I caught up with the man, the myth, the legend, Marty, who is the master steakologist that rules his kitchen kingdom one cut of meat at a time.
Danny Sheehan's has been here forever. It opened in 1960, same year as the Buffalo Bills.
All right, that's a good thing. How long have you been here?
I was the busboy at the last supper. I was the one that said anybody wants to get in the picture, get on this side of the table.
What are we gonna cook up today?
We're gonna cook up what we call the big boy surf and turf, or the petitely challenged person surf and turf.
I see the bacon fat.
Oh yeah, we're gonna stop your heart. First thing we wanna do is we wanna set up our lobster tails. We're gonna put a little butter over the top, and then just a little bit of paprika. And we're gonna kick on our cast iron. We're gonna get that hot. We got our water on here for broccoli. Put a little of the good stuff in here. It'll stop your heart. So we're gonna get our potatoes in there.
Yep, I hear that bacon fat
Oh
sizzling.
yeah. Now I gotta get my seasoning. I put this stuff on everything, I don't care.
That seasoning, that's your own blend.
Yeah, I mix it myself.
Salt, pepper.
No, I'm not gonna tell you.
All right, okay.
Okay, so next thing we gotta do is we've gotta get our steak on and our tails in, okay?
You season it on the grill?
On the grill.
I think a lot of people under-season their meat.
I mean, I have people come in and ask for no seasoning. Of course, we throw them out, but that's all right. So we'll put the lobsters in the oven now. And we're gonna put in some peppers and onions. We'll flip it over.
Hey, not too bad as far as the smoke, Marty.
No, I know, so far. You should get some fat out and throw it on there, and then you'll see what happens. I'll get a plate down here, and we'll get that set up. See, the broccoli goes in at the last minute. And there we are. Just a matter of waiting and seeing. I gotta keep flipping this once in a while.
I'm gonna time it now, Marty. 6 minutes.
Oh, geez, here we go.
Yep.
You're like one of my waitresses for crying out loud. You said 6 minutes!
How many steaks will you knock out on a typical serving at night?
Well, on a Saturday night, I'll probably about 150 to 200.
Whew. Those are cooking up beautifully.
Oh, yeah. So we'll turn that down just a little bit. Look at our lobster tails. Ah, yeah, those puppies are gonna be just a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Guy's right on.
I'm not as dumb as I look, you know. I'm gonna put the broccoli in the water now. It's par cooked, it's blanched. We're gonna get our potatoes.
All right.
A little drawn butter for the lobster tails. Oh yeah, baby, there you go. Look at those, huh? Little piece of meat. And how about that?
Beautiful. That's a man's meal.
I know a few women will eat that.
Just let me know if they're single. Well, Marty, I can't wait to sink my teeth into this monster.
Well, go sit down. You're all good to go.
Normally in restaurants, you find a lot of New York strips so tough. But this happens to be one of the most tender New York strip steaks I've ever had in my life. Here's the Danny Sheehan's, an A+ in my book. Yeah, you can put that hood fan on. Holy Louie.
Holy
Western New York is known for its dedication and love of its sports teams. And there is no better fan base in the world than right here. But there is one man who is solidifying his legacy as a fan. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Lockport's very own, John Lang, a.k.a. the Bills Elvis.
Elvis's Garage. Should be in the AAA places to see in Western New York, I guess. It started out as just your basic plain garage. I'd put in a window, I'd put in the door, I'd put on the deck, fireplace, blew out the ceiling, skylights.
So what started it all? Why the Elvis? Why the guitar?
A buddy of mine and I used to bet the Bills-Miami game every year. I just said, you know, I'll bet you double or nothing I can get on TV today. And he was like, sure, you're on. I scoured the apartment and found an old guitar and put Go Bills and Squish the Fish on the back of it. My wife drew some chest hair on me and some sideburns, and I had a goofy suit, and I was on the broadcast of that game. It was funny because all the people in my section, they were like, this is a riot. You got to do this again. You got to do it again. And I was just like, I had fun with it. Sure, I'm all in.
So now, do you go to every home game?
Yes. I've only missed 3 since '92.
That's amazing. One of the reasons that I came to Lockport is because back in '99 when I was seeing the Bills and Patriots game, and then at the end of the game, we saw you hustle up the steps and we said, we gotta get that pic with Elvis. And 22 years later, I was wondering, is the Elvis still there? And then I put it out there, Bill's Mafia, they instantaneously said, that's John Lang from Lockport. So I look up Lockport, and it fit our show profile perfectly. And lo and behold, here I am. Isn't it weird how things work out? John, we got a surprise for you. We're going right out to Buffalo, Orchard Park. We're gonna go sit where you sit and get a little back behind the scenes there. Are you all right with that?
I would love it.
All right, John, your seats here in Orchard Park.
Seat 1 and 2, section 126. I feel right at home, right here.
Who makes your Elvis outfits?
So it's a very good friend of ours, my wife and mine, Holly Mullaney is her name. This is probably suit number 5 that she's made. It's getting a little ratty, but I'm gonna have another one made up by her probably this year.
Might have to give you a Road Trip Masters logo.
That'd be awesome.
Now, you've been doing this since '92. How many guitars would you say you go through?
Typically about 2 a year I go through. I'll beat up 2 to 3 a year.
Now, what do you mean beat up?
Well, like I beat them on the... Occasionally hit a player or two by accident.
John, when you look around here, Bill's Mafia, so supportive. Are you a member of the Mafia?
Oh, absolutely. The fan base of Buffalo is off the charts to me. The economic hardships of Western New York, the climate, it just makes for a great, great fan base. It really does. It's hardworking, good people, generous, off the charts. The Bills Mafia is, it's the best.
I've never been all the way up to the top of the stadium. You mind if we take that hike?
I'm in.
All right, let's go.
They are hardcore fans up here in these corners. From my seats, I can look up and see the flags, and I know if the flags are going directly across that they are getting pelted with some cold winds and typically some snow right up here. I love watching Miami come here in December, and you look and they're all freezing, and you're like, ah.
As our time wound down at One Bills Drive, Johnny and I just had one more thing to do before our trek back to Lockport. Here we are, 4th and goal with the game on the line. It's up to Johnny Lang. Ball is set. 1 second left on the clock. Ball is snapped. Kessler rolls to his right. It looks like Lang sees him. Fake pumps. Kessler is wide open. Can he hit him? Ball is in the air. This is it. Touchdown! Touchdown! What athletes! Bills winning in a thriller in Orchard Park. After a play like that, it was time to hop into the caddy, drive back to Lockport, and pound down some wings, Gonzo style. Gonzo's in Lockport, one of your favorite hangouts, right?
Yes, it is. Definitely is.
Before we dive into these beauties right in front of us, what do you guys look for in Lockport in a wing?
Got to be the right size, which these are. You look for it not being overdone, but you want them crispy. Jerry here has a whole bunch of my favorite flavors. These are delicious.
One last question, John. Drum or wing?
They're both off the charts great.
Cheers, my friend. Thanks for bringing us to Lockport, and let's dive into these puppies.
Glad you came up.
Jerry, I don't know where Jerry went. It's a hell of a wing. Nobody gets that crunch on there like that. Oh. Lockport is a city that is built around the Erie Canal, and the Flight of 5 is truly a magnificent example of man's determination to conquer nature. But there's another story that lies hidden underneath, a story of a man who was known as a mechanical genius. I needed to find out more, and that's when I met up with Tom, the owner of the Lockport Cave and underground boat ride. Birdsill Holly
lived most of his life here. He was a mastermind. He was a great inventor. Over 150 patents, and second only to Thomas Edison.
So Birdsill Holly basically heated Lockport.
A steam heat and water through a tap, water through a fire hydrant. And they went out and did and developed and built this in hundreds of cities across America.
Lockport Cave. You started this.
I did back in the 70s. We were giving lantern tours with real lanterns.
Now, we got several stops along this tour. You want to get going?
Yes, let's go.
All right, let's check it out. Lockport was known as the city of smokeless power because it was all done via good old high-quality H2O. Birdsill Holly blasted a massive tunnel from the Erie Canal to his factory to supply water and mechanical energy.
We're looking at the area that was the original gate abutments where the water was controlled by the hydraulic company into the tunnel. And you can see the lintel says Hydraulic Race Company. And so the water went in through the arches and through the canal and then started to go down to the tunnel.
All right, let's continue the tour.
Thank you.
Yep.
We're going that way.
Oh, we are? We're coming up onto the entrance of the tunnels. It looks like something out of a horror movie.
It has been, actually. It's been used in horror films every day. We're going through the actual exit of the tunnel where the water ultimately came out at the end.
Inside the tunnel, take one. Got the water shooting underneath us. It's getting kind of tight. It's like a fallout shelter.
275 foot long. Imagine this being literally 80% full of rushing water falling 60 feet. This was the gatehouse where they control the water that came out of the tunnel into the mill, the pulp mill.
So basically this room, one giant valve. Could they control the rate of the flow?
They did control the rate of the flow. These mills were paying per cubic feet based on the aperture opening or whatever the opening had to be in each of the mills.
Sounds like my power company today.
It does, yeah.
So Tom, here we are. We got a hole in this rock.
They blasted this tunnel using black powder. They would take the rod and knock it in the hole in the wall and place black powder into the hole and cover it up and light the fuse and run like hell. And they also used children to do that. We call them powder monkeys because they could run faster.
And everything that we see in here was just blasted, excavated out. All right, let's put these tools back and get the powder monkeys in here. All right, Tom, here's our boat ride out, I guess.
No, our boat ride to the other end.
Oh, okay.
This is the original tunnel that was blasted, and we made a boat ride out of it.
Captain, after you. It's like an ark.
Yes.
We're off.
It's the SS Minnow.
I hope it doesn't wind up like the SS Minnow.
This run is 800 feet one way, 1,600 foot round trip. There was a wooden plate over the top of this part of the tunnel and it collapsed. And the city dumped, I don't know how many hundreds of dump truck loads of fill into this and filled it all the way up to the top.
And you did it by hand.
Dug this out by hand. And of course, we all sit around here and wonder what the people who are talking down at the other end are and what they're saying. There's people talking?
Yeah, I do.
It's odd. It's, you know, it's the ghost of Birdsill Holly and all his friends. All of the psychics and the people that have been here are all true believers that there is something here. With all the people, of course, that died, that were involved in this, there's people that really believe that there are spirits in here.
So you're telling me what I'm hearing at the end of that tunnel, nobody's down there? Wow, Tom, that was absolutely incredible. Amazing, stunning, and historical.
Get a real feel for the creation of the mechanical power when you look over the precipice here where the water came out for the Holly Company and went down the 60 feet.
Tom, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
What a tour. You have a true gem here right in Lockport that everybody needs to see.
We appreciate that. We got something very special.
Absolutely amazing, stunning. Someone once told me that the heartbeat of any town is a great burger joint, and I didn't have to look too far to find one. This place has been flipping burgers and cooking up dogs since 1946 and is a Lockport tradition. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Reed's Drive-In. All right, John, what do I need to order here at Reed's?
I would say you would want to get a double cheeseburger with sauce and a red hot with sauce.
All right, let's cook one up.
What we'll also do is we'll throw on a fresh red hot.
John disappeared already on me. Now, John, what's a red hot?
A red hot is just a Salem's hot dog, but that's just for our own terminology.
So Reed's has its own lingo.
Yes, when you put your order in, we hope to have you out of here within 5 minutes.
Couple minutes on each side there with the flip.
Yeah, we got thin burgers, but when you double them up, they taste extra good.
Now I'm gonna see if you pass the test a little bit later on, John. Thinking of something, and I wanna see if you're gonna do it and incorporate it into your burger, but go ahead, continue with the process.
Usually we just let them cook, juices up a little bit.
Oh yeah, I see this big pot right here. Chili?
Yeah, no, that's sauce. So that's the famous Reed sauce that we've been using since 1946.
I'm not even gonna bother with the next question because I'm gonna ask you what's in it and you're gonna tell me
It's a
now
secret.
it's a secret. Now, John, we're talking and you're hearing the orders. Are you splitting the tasks right now?
I try my best. It's like walking and chewing gum, you know?
I just love the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's super good. I mean, I think everyone has fun. Right, Josh?
Oh, yeah.
Hope you enjoy it.
They made it up so quickly, I didn't even see him do the hot dog. Where did it come from?
Come from the side, another good worker, Huffy.
Hey, and you know what? You passed the test because I see the buns on the grill. Toasted up a little bit.
They gotta be warm.
Woo! Man, that's hot. Temperature-wise, we're up there. Look at that.
Now the real question is, do you like it?
Put it to you this way.
You're gonna finish it?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna hammer that down. Saturday morning, waking up with a bit of a headache, I'm ordering a bunch of these things. You know what I mean?
I've actually heard that once or twice before.
Reed's Drive-In was certainly the right stop before the voyage home. So buckle up and grab the wheel and get lost in an area worth discovering. Until next time, I'm Nick Kessler. Stay curious, my friends, and safe travels.